Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. So I wanted to start with the first question about prop trading. And with prop trading firms setting up these challenges, um, do you do you think the young sort of traders, are they getting attracted to prop trading because of these challenges? They see it as a educational tool for learning, etc. What's your view on that? And maybe start with you, Sebastian.
Okay. Well, I've been asking myself that same question actually. I've been talking to several partners, several customers, and colleagues. What they normally come back and tell me is that, well, what attracts them the most has to do with the low risk and also the opportunity to have access to a funded account, let's say 50,000, 100,000, $200,000. So it's this opportunity that they can get into. Of course, education plays a very important role there because they can get education from basic principles of trading to risk management and then compile everything and create their own strategies, right? Bear in mind some things, limitations. I would say some prop firms, they have their own regular internal rules, which they accept certain strategies. And also, say less than 10% of these young traders pass the challenges to get this funded account. On the other side, I can speak by experience because we are a broker in that more traditional model. Our clients, what they look for more is like a highly regulated broker, where they can know where their funds are going, who are the regulators, and that there's a track record, I would say, of the broker that can sustain this activity for a long period of time.
Okay, thank you, Pamela.
Well, I think it's important to define that I think we, as a society, we follow by instructions. And the fact that, for example, you may have a demo account on a traditional broker, but you don't know exactly what to do with it. You have a 10,000 demo account and you are just playing up, down, yes, no, green, red, and still you don't know what you're doing. If you go maybe to YouTube, or maybe your broker is having certain educational programs, you may try to learn with them. But I think the fact that the prop firm is having a journal trading for the trader, he is able to try out those strategies and exactly see, for example, what is the challenge of today? How do I measure my profit? Not only by seeing, I don't know, a plus in my account, demo or not, but by having certain instructions of certain drawdown today, certain amount of trades successful, certain amount of this, certain amount of that. And I think that is helping beginners in the trading sphere to know how to use those demo accounts. And on the other side, if we take, okay, this is the beginner side, then on the other side, you also have the professional traders who are trying to show their strategies, show their knowledge in order to get the opportunity, maybe as they were doing it with a copy trading account, with a PAM account, or with a MAM account, but in this case with a funded account. So I think that the appetite for these kind of prop firms is on both sides. Professional traders because of the opportunity that it can give them to earn more money, and beginners because it gives them instructions on maybe how to start on these matters.
Okay, makes sense. Gerardo?
Thank you. Well, we could say yes, but in a different matter way. We think young people here at Latin America are looking these prop firms, but not because of the education or the training. We gotta take a bigger look and see that here in Latin America, most young traders do not have enough money to start trading. So basically, with the promise they're gonna get funded after passing an assessment, makes these kind of traders get very incentive to do so. So that's one of the main reasons we are looking the growth in these kind of prop firms, basically.
All right, thank you. Ivan?
My opinion on prop trading, I think I come from the broker side, so I think brokers and prop trading are dipping into the same pool of leads.
The big advantage of prop trading, I think, at the moment is marketing-wise, they can say pretty much anything they want. So, therefore, they're getting to those clients first. Of course, they're being very creative. I have to give them that. And as Pamela said, the daily challenge, the engagement that they're promoting is what is giving them an edge at the moment. I do think, although it's a very interesting business model in a way, it's not my type of business, definitely. I think brokers can use this as a tipping point and learn that client want more education, client want to be more engaged, they need more content, they want face-to-face time with them. I think prop tradings are very good actually with all these events and like promoting their tools and different rules. So I think it's a lesson to be learned by the brokers in order to keep up with what's happening in the market, especially in LATAM.
Great, thank you. Pamela, my next question is about how brokers like us, like ATFX, we don't offer prop trading. But what would be the top two lessons we would learn from prop trading firms as traditional brokers, in your opinion?
Well, I can also tell you, us as a liquidity and technology provider, we also got into the moment of getting requests from our clients, other institutions, into us making the technology for them to become a prop firm. We were also trying to find out if this was kind of a trend that we needed to ride or not, if it was going to pass or not. And as we've seen, it's growing and growing and growing. And more of our clients, traditional brokers like you guys, started asking us for the technology that was going to allow them to evolve. And that's, I think, the point of our industry. All the time it's evolving and it's getting bigger. We can see it 10 years ago with the boom of the crypto technology and so on and so forth, and also with the regulations. I think the lesson that you can take as a broker is exactly what Ivan said, that it's showing you that the traders, they don't want to just put some money on the account and be let alone. They want some involvement from the broker to know, not only I need to see your regulations to know that I'm secure, I also want some kind of attention from you to know if I'm doing it correct, how can I become better? Because that's the main point. Why in Latin America, for example, it became so popular trading back from COVID time? Because people here, they are trying to earn money, and that's the main point. People are depositing funds into your broker wallets because they want to try to make it more money. So how you as a broker can become a little bit maybe more human and give them that touch of, okay, how can I help you? I'm here to help you become a better trader. I'm here to help you make that money grow. What can I do for you? I think that's the first lesson. And the second lesson, I think it's also remember that we're in an industry that is evolving. So I think it's better never to say as a broker or as a B2B provider, I mean anyone in the industry, to start listening to the wishes of the end user, which is in the end the person who is having all of us here. So what do they want and how we can cater for them?
Makes sense. Gerardo?
Okay, great. So, first of all, I cannot agree more with Pamela. One of the main reasons and that it's a game changer is that young traders are getting into this type of market. It's a fast-paced, growing type of clients, and these kind of prop firms have helped develop this kind of market. And the second of all is that, well, they can offer this financial freedom dream, which incentives a lot of the clients to start performing trading with this kind of prop trading. Yeah. So these two lessons, this kind of approach to a market, is what we have to take from this kind of industry in a matter of speaking, being conservative, right?
So we got two brokers right here, and
Yes.
do you both provide prop trading? No, we don't.
We don't.
Oh, you don't either.
No.
But yeah, tell us what lessons we would learn.
Sure. Well, everybody here touched very interesting topics. I would say innovation is key because young traders, they are looking for new challenges, new ways of trading.
So research, try new things, launch products that can satisfy these needs, right? And say as a general rule of thumb, I would say new generations, probably not me. I might look young, but I'm not that young. They look for instant gratification, and prop firms, what they do is sell this point very well. So to be short and concise, it will be innovation and marketing.
Okay, makes sense. Actually, I was going to say innovation as well, innovation and flexibility. I think no, I think no. What's happening is that like many brokers arrive in the region and they are a bit cocky and they say this is how we've been doing things in Asia, in Africa, in Europe, and this is how it's going to be in LATAM. For example, not many brokers offer Brazilian real, Colombian peso, sol peruano, peso chileno, and that tells you a lot on how stiff brokers are at the moment. Prop trading firms realize pretty much that, and what Jose said, like Sebastian said, instant gratification is key. So they realize they start changing. I start talking to prop trading firms, asking them questions probably more than 10 years ago. At the beginning, I thought it was not going to be like a long story, but like 10 years later, we're here. And like they start changing, like initially was no challenges, there was no daily prices. And then they realized that and they start like keeping up with what was happening. Then technology issues are happening also to prop trading firms, and they are not worried about. They just jump into the next provider and happy to carry on with business. And again, of course, the instant gratification with like a probably connection to the younger generation. I think it's key for them to. It's another thing that brokers should learn, flexibility and innovation from them.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna change the sort of subject to a bit more about LATAM, a bit from a regulatory perspective as well. LATAM is huge, and in terms of CFD business, generally speaking, how can a broker navigate the different countries? So different countries allow CFD, some don't. How can you have a strategy for the whole region, and some people maybe don't understand CFDs in some countries are really doing it. Give us a little bit of a maybe summary of what's the situation with that.
Well, I think this is exactly right up my alley. The main point of us as B2Broker is we cater not only to existing brokers, but we also, many of our clients are entrepreneurs who are starting their business for the first time. So we can provide them a turnkey solution that will be the technology, the liquidity, the whole setup of their business, but also we can guide them from the early steps, which is, okay, the first question is, where are you registering your company? Because based on that is the regulation that you have, the regulations that you will be able to acquire, then you can make a map of short-term, mid-term, and long-term, how you will evolve this business, where you will grow as a company, which jurisdictions or licenses you can acquire in the future. What I always recommend my clients is, I know it's beautiful to say that I want to be the best global broker that there is in the world, but let's get real right now and let's put a target right now first. What is the region that you want to have as a target? What is the region that you will, first of all, put the first phase as marketing, and also that will imply your compliance, your technical support, the languages that you need, the first regulations and licenses that you need to know from the beginning to the end. So if, for example, you will tell me that my target will be Latin America, I will first ask you, okay, in which country of Latin America is the main focus? Because based on that, you will need to know what kind of marketing you can do, what kind of regulations you will do. And for example, if you will start as a non-regulated broker from an offshore company, or if you will start as a regulated broker with specific license, then that will allow you to know, based on that target that you define, what that client expects from you. Do they know about licenses? Do they expect a fully regulated broker? Do they know about the products that you offer? What kind of marketing is allowed in that country? So I think those specific questions on the early stages of the business is what will make them sail into success, because they will be able to make the whole compliance team learn or hire them specifically for that regions. And then as you grow, you also grow that team, and you will be growing also that knowledge.
Yeah. Ivan, I wanted to go to you with this question. So country by country, what's your thoughts?
It's a tricky one. I've been a bit advocate for regulation in LATAM for a long time. I interviewed with the Colombian regulator probably more than 15 years ago. A couple of different offices here in Mexico. Very basic conversations in Peru, Brazil, and Chile. And unfortunately, none of them seem well, none of them used to have like a lot of interest in this until Colombia. Maybe like a year ago, they decided to allow DTT get regulated. Mr. DTT is here, so he's happy. I think actually that opens up big doors for everyone. It's good. Like it is going to be good for the clients at the end. Some other brokers are already applying in Colombia, so I think that might push neighbor countries to start acting on it, which I think it's great. Probably the issue with regulators, and I actually remember 20 years ago at FXCM, NFA used to come at the office and visit us. And like the issue that I saw mainly with regulators is that many of them are lawyers. So I remember specifically NFA coming to the office. You say NFA and you assume they're almighty, they know everything. But in reality, they had no clue about like what was a derivative and stuff like that. So it's very tricky. Like if NFA in the US are not aware of this, what can you expect of a smaller country regulator? So that's a tricky one. I'm very happy what's happening in Colombia at the moment. And I think especially probably Brazil, Peru, and Chile are going to take the next steps. In Chile, at the moment, there's a fintech license, which is some of the local brokers that have been in business for a while are using at the moment. I hope that license expands a bit, and hopefully we see something soon in Colombia. At the moment, unfortunately, brokers need to do what they need to do, and hope they respect as much as possible the local rules.
Yeah, Sebastian.
Well, LATAM diverse, right? What I think brokers should do is actually to build a team of competent, robust compliance team, so they can research, they can create their internal policies, they can keep up with what's going on in LATAM, right? One of the things that might delay regulators has to do with technology. Probably they struggle to keep up with it. So build this robust compliance team. You mentioned about lawyers as well. Actually, in my daily life, I do go to lawyers. I would say lawyer up. I speak to them every single day because people come to me and ask me compliance questions. Let it be as well governance as well, right? Governance compliance. But they have to be specialists. They have to know what they're talking about. I have them on speed dial. What else? What we do in Deriv is reverse solicitation. I don't know if you're aware of this term. To put it in a practical way, let's say, I know we're talking about trading, but I will go a little bit out of context. If you open a lemonade stand in one neighborhood, you sell your product. You don't go to the other neighborhood and sell it. They have to come to you to buy it from you. So you have to establish the channels in order for them to come to facilitate for them buying it from you. So and of course, constant education, constant training.
Gerardo?
Okay, great. So, for instance, what we are doing is many people who don't belong to Latin America, they look at us and they think that Latin Americans work the same way. We think likewise, but the thing is, we really don't. Each country has their own regulations, their own challenges, their own customs. They have different factors, including governmental factors, that have to be taken into consideration. So, first of all, we gotta do a strategic breakdown in each of the countries to see where we are standing. Once we have realized where we're standing in all these kind of terms, we need to take part and establish how we're gonna get into the market. This means, by instance, at compliance terms, at marketing terms, not to get an enemy, which is the government of each country, right? So not to get fined, we need to make this really specific breakdown of the law and see where they are standing. As a Mexican, I can tell you right now the regulations of CFDs is not going anywhere. So basically, we have to be aware of what the government is going to do next, but still be in the law of promoting this kind of products and assets we got.
But going back to the question, I want to know which of the countries has banned CFD trading. Is there one? None of them banned. Is any of them fining people a lot? In your opinions, is any of the governments fining more than others?
I know the Colombian regulator has been very active sanctioning IPs, promoting non-regulated firms. Actually, not too long ago, they find like a very famous guy in Colombia. He's been in the industry forever, and ironically, he was well, I say ironically because there's a lot of shady influencers promoting very shady brokers, and this guy was promoting a very well-established American broker. So I think it's funny that they sanction him instead of the guys doing funny business. But the local Colombian government and Brazilian are actually sending letters to people not doing the things accordingly.
Colombia and Brazil are the ones that are more aggressive. Is there anyone who's it's basically Colombia who's given the license to go ahead and do CFDs, right? Or not even? No one's given CFD.
No, at the moment it's a rep office license.
Okay.
There's no such a thing as a CFD license.
Okay.
What I can add here, if I may, is the thing in Latin America is that we don't have specific regulation pro brokerage, forex, trading, or CFDs, but there is also no regulation specifically against it. That's why in all Latin American countries right now, there is specific voids that brokers and firms tend to it, because with that they are allowed to do businesses, also if they are offshore and so on and so forth. The thing is, certain Latin American countries like Brazil, like Argentina, as far as I know, to the top of my knowledge, is, for example, if you will do anything related to Forex, they take it as what we call in Spanish, bolsa de cambio. So you need a license from the central bank of the country in order to do that type of business. But there is no specific regulation.
My next question is about localization and going into each of these markets. What would be your top three sort of things that maybe is requested or asked of you when you enter a new market? Localization, budgets. What's the requirements? Let's say. Yeah, starting with you.
I think the most important thing when you enter a new market will be, at least the advice I give to my clients, is first of all, know the local payment methods. The money flow is the veins of your business, so you need to cater to how your client is able to pay you. That's the first thing. Second, marketing. Marketing cannot be the same in all the countries, in all the languages. Every country has different channels. So, for example, in the part of the world where we live, for example, Europe, Middle East, and that side, they tend to use, for example, Telegram, and they tend to use maybe more Instagram. And maybe if you go more to Asia, there is other social media redes. But in Latin America, maybe we have more of a marketing of influencers in Instagram, in Facebook, in TikTok, and maybe we still use, for example, TV. I don't know. So the first one will be payment methods. Second will be marketing, in my opinion. And the third one, I think, is really important if you are doing retail business, not in our case, but if you are a broker and you're doing retail business, I think it's also important to know the needs, the legal needs that your client will have. For example, if your client will need any kind of report, I don't know, for his tax declaration or for his bank, because the bank will ask him why he's sending this amount or withdrawing this amount or receiving this amount. So I think those are the main three things in the case that you're a retail, payment method to cater to your client needs, marketing, so you will be able to find him, and the third one, what he will need from you in legal aspects, I think.
All right, great, thank you.
Okay. Well, first of all, yes, to do an approach and to get into the market, we as a broker, as Exness, first of all, we gotta see what market we are reaching out, because all markets are different. So once we have defined this market, because we make a breakdown, we focus on what type of partners we are getting from this region. Could be influencers, could be networkers, could be academies, could be, for instance, normal partners. Once we have defined this kind of situation, then we go out and take our commercial strategy, what's our position as a broker. And then on, we make the business plan, which is how is it going to grow and how we are going to develop the market in the region. But most of all, as a broker, we are looking very much into providing good technological solutions for our main partners, and also local payments with instant withdrawals, and a lot of features that really help our business partners can rely with us. So that's basically, I think, a way we prefer to do it.
Thank you, Sebastian.
Okay, I will say research. You have to know your customer, where you want to go and penetrate. You have to know what they're trading, what metrics, indicators do they use. Do they use copy trading? Do they follow signals? So you have to create like a profile of your potential customers in order to customize your product and sell the right product in the right region, right? Educational content as well. You have to talk their language. In LATAM, for example, 90% of the people probably speak Spanish. So make sure to hablar español when you're talking to them. Another thing will be payment methods, like Pamela mentioned. Of course, every country, they deal with their own financial issues, right? For example, you have Argentina, who has been dealing with it for over 20 years. Their currency is very volatile. So make sure you have crypto for them. You have Bolivia, Peru, bank transactions can be limited. So offer a local payment method that can facilitate their deposits, their withdrawals. And say Ecuador, again, there's a limitation with credit cards. Again, proper payment methods. Crypto might be a solution, right? So make sure that you give them the proper payment method that they need. When we talk to partners, what they come to us and the feedback that they give us is that they are very happy, not only for deposits, because they want to withdraw. So this builds confidence, they build trust with your partners. Make sure it's simple, it's fast, and it's cheap.
Okay, Ivan?
Probably, I think from experience, key things, of course, knowing the market, local team for each of the countries, or as many as possible. That's probably one of the big problems in Latam. Like a lot of countries, different accents, different time zones, so it's tricky. Independent budget, and like having been able to do your own thing. I've been working for brokers in the past. They hire me because of what I know in the region, but once they hire me, they tell me they want me to do what they've been doing in different regions. So that type of like a flexibility to do your thing, it's what you've been doing. So like they should respect that a lot. A local team. The reason of the local team mainly, and this week is a good example. It's a local holiday in the Middle East. So like if you want to request to your graphic designer or something, there's nothing you can do. You have to wait until next week. Everybody's off. So that they don't take that into account. Like that's just this week, but like in the day-to-day basis, like if you don't talk to them at 10 a.m., you're done until next day. And like oftentimes they reply your email with another question. So like a simple request takes like 2 or 3 days. So local team, there's a lot of capable people in LATAM. I've been able to hire or recruit very good talent in both Mexico, Colombia, Uruguay, and Lima. So I think probably brokers, I understand why they don't trust, because they don't know the region, but they're missing out on a very good pool of talent in the region.
Great, thank you so much. My next question is about IBs and also client retention. So we can't deny that the IBs have a lot of power here in LATAM, and maybe more than anywhere else in the world. I'm not sure, maybe also Asia. But so the question is, should the brokers do some of their heavy lifting when it comes to retention, educating their clients, or should they? What's the balance there, keeping the client in the hands of the IB versus having them in-house a bit more? Pamela, in your opinion?
Well, first of all, let me tell you from the broker side of view, we have on our technology, on our CRM B2Core, a model that is specifically IB. So IB stands for Introduce Brokers, and this is for referrals and affiliates. What I always tell my clients is the IB model is the perfect digital marketing strategy because you are letting others bring you volume, bring you clients through their own means, and you pay them when the volume is actually here because you can have different formulas to pay them based on the traded lots, based on the deposit amount, based on this, based on that. So you are allowing others to promote you and to bring you clients. Now, going to your question on if you should be leaving that heavy lift on them or take them on your side, I think it also depends. What I've seen in Latin America is the IBs is not only this kind of influencer promoting a broker and bringing you numbers like we see in other regions. I think here in Latin America, the IB is more of sometimes the trading academy, sometimes this kind of networking. They create a whole community of traders, and this IB, he becomes a representative of them, or he becomes a head who is telling them where to go, what to do, and their whole community is sharing signals, sharing tips, sharing information to each other. So I think specifically for Latin America, it's a bit more difficult to take the community from the IB because they believe in him. So it's better for you as a broker to have your IBs happy. So have good formulas for them, pay them correctly, try to meet them face-to-face, for example, in these kind of events, and try to come up together with ideas on how to benefit each other. Because in the end, the IB is successful if the broker is successful. Same with, for example, us as providers. We are your long-term partner, and as long as my client, the broker, is successful, I'm being successful with him. So I think the same for you guys with your IBs. I think the best thing will be not to try to take off the networking from them, but better to help them. What do you need from me to have more promotions or more ideas to bring more of your clients to me? I think that will be beneficial for both and for us too.
Ivan, can I go to you on this one with the IBs?
I think it's a very necessary evil in the region. Of course, as Pamela mentioned, is the perfect marketing model. Although the only problem with IBs, not only in the region but worldwide, is being like a reputational damage for the broker, which we've seen plenty of times. Here in the region, I think probably what it's in control of the brokers is to help model the current IB added value to the clients. That being said, for example, like in Colombia, one of the things that the regulator appreciate is education and information for clients to be able to make better decisions for trading. So that being said, probably you can start like partnership with somebody that they have like a good potential, and start like profiling them on the way you want them to work side by side with you. There's a lot of course, sophisticated and experienced IBs. Probably it's hard to work for them. They're too cocky. They know there's 2,500 different brokers that will offer anything they want for them. So I'll stick to a couple of them maybe because in reality they bring a good chunk of business. But I do think it's worth it for brokers to start creating their own IBs from start. There's plenty of opportunities, trading academies, trading cafes, universities. Something that I've seen recently by local brokers in different countries is they're sponsoring the trading rooms from like finance universities, stuff like that. So I think it presents a very good opportunity. It's a business model that it's been in the industry since the first days, and it's not going nowhere. So yes to IBs, and then to the retention, I think it's case by case. Some IBs they don't know how to do retention. Other IBs they don't want you to touch their clients at all. So case by case, take it with them. But like definitely try to have your own retention to, of course, try to extend the lifetime value of the client, the volume, and all the fun things that we liked.
Excellent. Sebastian?
Well, yeah, you have to know your IBs, right? And what brokers do know as well has to do with digital marketing, trends, customer behavior, data analysis. So equip them, give them, train them, educate your IBs so they can do what they know best, which is to teach trading. Like Pamela said, they have their trading academies. So they can build their reputation, they can build their platforms and teach and do what they do best. It's a collaborative environment between the broker and the IB.
Excellent.
Great. Well, for us, yeah, we cherish a lot our IBs, our partners. Basically, one of the main reasons we're growing in the region is of our partners. So in terms of education, we as a broker do not take part of it. We are not a broker that actually provides education to retail clients. But we do support our IBs with technological things and matters of structures so they can perform as a trading academy. They can bring clients, they can educate the clients, the final client, and they can do so with our platform, with our market, and they can have execution, things that they want to provide to their own clients. A good solution. So yeah, basically we try to support these kind of partners because they are a pillar in our main purposes of growing at LATAM. We know there's a lack of education, financial education here at the region, and if we support these kind of partners, for sure you can grow. And it's a great part of the structure of growing.
Excellent. I think we don't have time for any more questions. In case you like these questions, everyone, they were written by our new head of LATAM, Mr. Ergin, who's recently been promoted to head up the LATAM for us at ATFX. And he's building a brand new office and everything we're moving into. So, yeah, thanks, everyone, and thanks, Ergin, for the questions.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.